If your rakes, shovels, and hand tools are just leaning against a wall waiting to fall on your foot, you don't have a storage problem, you have a system problem. I tested and researched 6 different ways people organize their garden tools, from cheap plastic stands to full wall systems, and ranked them from the ones you should skip to the one that actually solves the clutter for good. Let's start at the bottom. Number 6. VEVOR Garden Tool Organizer. This is the cheapest way to get your tools off the ground, and for some people, that's all they need. It's built from polypropylene plastic, weighs just over 7 pounds, and stands about 38 inches tall, with 10 individual slots for long-handled tools, like rakes, hoes, and shovels. If you've got a small collection of 5 to 10 tools in a tiny shed, this does the basic job of keeping them upright instead of scattered on the floor. Here's the honest limitation. 10 slots fills up fast. The moment you add a wheelbarrow, a leaf blower, or a second rake, you're out of room, and the plastic construction means this isn't something you want to load up with heavy power equipment. It's also a freestanding unit with no wall anchor option, so in a garage with a lot of foot traffic, it can get knocked around. The verdict here is simple. This is a starter organizer for a small tool collection and a tight budget, not a long-term solution if your tool count is growing. Think of it as step 1, not the destination. Number 5. Fiskars Garden Tool Bucket Caddy, 5-gallon. This one takes a completely different approach. Instead of a rack, it's a canvas caddy that wraps around the outside of a standard 5-gallon bucket, giving you 9 deep pockets plus 2 narrow pencil pockets for a total of 11 storage spots. The bucket itself isn't included, you supply that part, but once it's on there, you've got a mobile tool station you can carry to wherever you're working in the yard. The catch is right there in the design. This is built for small hand tools, gloves, and accessories, not for rakes, shovels, or anything with a long handle. It's not a replacement for a real tool organizer, it's a companion piece you'd use alongside one. If you buy this expecting it to hold your whole collection, you're going to be disappointed fast. Where this shines is portability for detail work. Gardeners doing a lot of bed maintenance, weeding, or container gardening who need trowels, pruners, and gloves within arm's reach will get real use out of this. Just don't expect it to replace your main storage setup. Number 4. TICONN Garage Organization Tool Storage Utility Rack, 64-inch. TICONN system is built in modular 16-inch sections, and you can configure it at 32, 48, or 64 inches depending on the wall space you've got. The hooks aren't fixed in place. You can reposition them along the rail to fit whatever you're hanging, whether that's rakes, brooms, shovels, or bulkier items like folding chairs. The catch is installation. This mounts to a wall, which means you need studs, a drill, and a bit of planning before you commit to a spot. It's not a 5-minute, no tools required setup like some of the freestanding options earlier on this list, and if you're renting or don't want holes in the wall, this isn't going to work for you. The verdict is that this is a strong pick for anyone with a permanent garage or shed setup who wants flexibility over time. Because the hooks move and the sections are modular, you're not locked into one configuration the way you are with a molded plastic tower. It's an investment in a wall, not just a purchase of an object. Number 3. Rubbermaid FastTrack Corner Tool Tower. This is Rubbermaid's corner-specific unit, holding up to 30 tools in a resin frame with a wide, stable base. What separates it from the cheaper corner racks is the integrated holes at the top designed specifically for anchoring the unit to the wall with an S-hook, giving you the compact footprint of a corner rack with meaningfully better stability once it's secured. The catch is that anchoring it requires a bit of extra setup, and if you skip that step, you're back to relying on the base alone for stability, which works fine on flat, even ground but gets shakier once the unit is fully loaded with heavier tools. It's also still a corner-specific shape, so it won't work well in the middle of an open wall. Where this earns its ranking is the balance between the Keyter rack below it and the freestanding towers above it. 30 tools is a genuine step up in capacity, the resin construction means no rust or rot over years of outdoor humidity, and the wall anchor option gives you a stability upgrade that the cheaper corner units don't offer. For a garage corner that needs to hold a real collection, this is a dependable middle ground pick. Number 2. Stalwart Garden Tool Organizer, Rolling Utility Cart. Stalwart's cart holds up to 40 tools and adds something none of the picks below it have: wheels. This rolls on rear casters, measures about 29.5 inches long by 13.75 inches wide by 33.5 inches tall, and is built from plastic that's rated for both indoor and outdoor use. If you're constantly moving tools between a shed and different parts of a large yard, Mobility changes how useful an organizer actually is day to day. The catch is that this is a plastic frame unit, and 40 tools loaded into a rolling cart puts real weight on wheels that are doing double duty as both mobility and structural support. Rolling a fully loaded cart over gravel, grass, or an uneven driveway is going to be noticeably harder than rolling it across a smooth garage floor, and the wheels are a wear point over time that a stationary rack simply doesn't have. The verdict is that this is the pick for anyone whose workflow actually involves moving tools around, not just storing them in one spot. 40 tool capacity plus mobility is a genuinely useful combination for bigger properties, but if your tools live in one place and stay there, you're paying for a feature you won't use. Number 1.3, Tier Garden Tool Organizer, metal, up to 78 tools. This is where capacity jumps dramatically. Built from a coated steel frame instead of resin or plastic, this 3-tier design is rated to hold up to 78 tools, which is more than double almost everything else on this list. The steel construction also means it can handle heavier items that plastic towers are better off avoiding, like metal-headed tools, longer power equipment, and anything with real weight to it. The catch is exactly what you'd expect from something built to hold that much gear. It's a large, heavy-duty piece of equipment that needs a serious amount of floor space to make sense. If your collection is genuinely small, this is overkill, and a metal frame this size is more of a commitment to set up and position than a lightweight resin tower you can nudge into a corner. The verdict is that this is built for people with a real collection. Think multiple households worth of yard tools, a landscaping side operation, or just decades of accumulated garden equipment that's outgrown every plastic organizer they've tried. If capacity is your primary problem, this solves it more thoroughly than anything else on this list except the number 1 pick. That's the full ranking, but the right pick really depends on your situation. If you've got a small collection and a tight budget, the VEVOR stand or the Keter corner rack will get the job done. If mobility matters because your tools travel around a big property, look at the Stalwart cart or the Rubbermaid Deluxe wheeled tower. If you've got a genuinely large collection, the 78-tool steel organizer is built for that scale. And if you want a permanent setup that can keep growing for years without needing to be replaced, the Gladiator gear track system is the one to build around. Links to every product mentioned are down in the description, numbered to match this list. If this helped you figure out your setup, drop a comment with what you're storing and I'll help you figure out the right size. Subscribe for more garage and yard organization breakdowns.